Good news about Boeing's KC-46 tanker. Reach the limitation today. Purchase and get more characters please. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the Air Force's 2011 decision to award Boeing the development contract for its next-generation aerial refueling tanker. Now designated the KC-46 Pegasus, the aircraft is based on a version of the company's 767 commercial transport that has been modified to deliver fuel to other aircraft in flight, carry cargo and transport personnel, including wounded troops. KC-46 will play a pivotal role in supporting U.S. military services and overseas allies in future military operations. Without it, some critical missions, both nuclear and non-nuclear, would not be feasible due to the limited range of combat aircraft.
Captain Patrick Corona, Aircraft Commander KC-10 out of the 6th Air Refueling Squadron, Travis Air Force Base, California, representing the 60th Air Mobility Wing. The tanker bridge, we're the flying gas station, so fuel in the sky. So operationally, it's either to extend the range or extend the loiter. For here, specifically in Northern Edge, it's to extend the loiter and give mainly the fighter jets the fuel they need to fuel the fight and to practice what they're trying to practice for the high-end near-peer fight. So loiter time in the air, and when they're doing these fighter maneuvers, they're usually an afterburner doing aggressive maneuvering, high Gs, and burning a lot more gas. So we need to be there to give them the gas they need so they have ample time to practice these maneuvers and get the practice they need so they can go on the ground, debrief, and really hone in those skills.
Launched a two-ship here out of Niagara and refueled the C-17 over Williamsport, Pennsylvania, went to Cleveland, turned around, went back east, and came up initial as a two-ship here. So great win for Team Niagara today. Well, the significance of it is the fact we were able to launch for the second week in a row 2 aircraft at the exact same time. You have maintenance, POL, the air crew, this entire base is going through a transition. So to be able to launch 2 aircraft at the same time is a big win and a big stepping stone, again, for Team Niagara. And it's the second week we've done it. Last week we had some F-16s, today we did a C-17 out of Wright Pat, Ohio, and it's a good day for us and for the receiver pilots.
5, 4, 3, 2.
However, Pegasus is taking longer to field than either the Air Force or Boeing ever expected, due to deficiencies in its remote vision system used to guide refueling booms into receiving aircraft. The Air Force continues to fund new production lots of the aircraft, but a final decision on full-rate production has been pushed back to 2024, 7 years later than originally planned. Media coverage has been predictably negative. Sometimes it is too negative, exaggerating the challenges associated with fielding the new tanker. I have been following the saga since Boeing was awarded the contract during the Obama years, in part because Boeing is a contributor to my think tank. Here are half a dozen facts about Pegasus that put the program's delays in context, and illustrate why it remains the future of aerial refueling for America's joint force. KC-46 is certified to refuel most U.S. fighters, bombers and airlifters. The Air Force's Agency for Assessing Aerial Refueling Systems has already certified KC-46 as suitable for use with most of the service's aircraft. That includes F-15, F-16, F-22 and F-35 fighters, B-52 and B-1 bombers, C-5 and C-17 airlifters, and a host of other aircraft, including all variants of the Navy's Sea-based F-18 fighter. Certification requires testing the tanker in flight with each type of receiving aircraft under diverse operating conditions. The process has unfolded smoothly. The certification process will soon result in Pegasus being approved for refueling all combat aircraft in the joint fleet capable of taking fuel in flight. Air Mobility Command and other entities will decide when KC-46 actually joins the operational fleet, but there are no certification concerns barring its use. KC-46 is passing over 2 million pounds of fuel per month. If you think Pegasus isn't ready to refuel other aircraft, think again. In April it passed 2.3 million pounds of fuel to other planes, mainly in training missions for the Air Mobility Command. Over the course of its relatively brief life, the tanker has made contact with receiving aircraft 23,000 times, passing a total of 37.9 million pounds of fuel. For instance, KC-46 was used to refuel for 18 fighters that flew over the Army-Navy game, and F-35 fighters that flew near the White House during a state visit by Poland's president. The aircraft itself is performing well, as are key refueling features. The modified 767-200 jetliner used for KC-46 is a vast improvement over legacy tankers, using cockpit displays adapted from the 787 Dreamliner. Air Force personnel flying the plane like it, as do pilots in receiving aircraft because the placement of engines on KC-46 facilitates refueling. Legacy tankers have more engines. The boom assembly used by the Air Force to deliver fuel from the tanker to receiving aircraft, evolved from a similar system used on the KC-10 tanker, is operating as intended. The core problem with the refueling system is fixable, and soon. The only showstopper to date on KC-46 is the remote vision system that enables boom operators to perform refuelings from the cockpit area rather than lying in the rear of the aircraft. There is nothing particularly novel about this system. All tankers built since the 1980s have used cameras to help guide booms rather than placing operators in the back. However, there are certain specific light conditions in which the vision system does not provide sufficient clarity to accurately insert the boom into receiving aircraft, and that is what the Air Force insists must be fixed before the tanker is operational. The preliminary design review of a solution appears to have been successfully completed, and installation of what is called RVS 2.0 is expected to commence in late 2023. Even without a fix, the problem is limited to specific daylight hours. Difficulties with using the existing remote vision system only occur when the sun is low in the sky, meaning in the early morning or evening. The existing system works well when the sun is higher in the sky, when the sun has set, or when the tanker is engaged in covert operations. The system uses a long wavelength infrared camera at night to help guide the boom into receiving aircraft, and that facet of the existing system seems to be highly effective. Some challenges are endemic to the refueling mission, rather than KC-46 specific. When conducting aerial refueling, visual acuity is crucial to safety and success. It was recently reported that operators have trouble seeing the last foot or so of the boom when it is being inserted in receiving aircraft. This issue unfortunately arises with other Air Force tankers too. Boeing elected to change the color of the shroud on the boom to increase contrast with the receiving aircraft. Glare is a commonplace problem in aerial refueling regardless of which type of tanker is used, but by changing the orientation of the aircraft to the sun 10 degrees, glare can be greatly reduced. All of the above considerations point to an obvious conclusion: the problems afflicting Pegasus are manageable, and will not prevent it from becoming the dominant aerial refueling platform in the Joint Force through mid-century. Thanks for watching. Don't forget like, comment, subscribe and share.